Hi everyone. So today we'll be discussing on the topic BFS actually, breadth first search algorithm. Yep. So let's see what the definition part says here. Breadth first search is a graph traversal algorithm that explores nodes level by level. So this term level by level is very important. Yeah. So this is how we distinguish between BFS as well as the DFS actually mainly. So it goes depth. So next that we'll be considering the same thing actually. For now we can just ignore about the DFS. So what does the BFS do? It explores nodes level by level. Again, breadth first search is a graph traversal algorithm that explores nodes level by level. It visits all the immediate neighbors first before moving to the next depth. Yeah, all the neighboring nodes that are present at the same level, it'll this one visit those neighbors, then it moves to the next level. So that is the reason it is called as breadth first search. It visits all the immediate neighbors first before moving to the next depth. So next let's move on with the main algorithm, BFS algorithm. Yeah, first what we will do, we will start with a source node. First we'll be starting with the source node. So then start a source node in the sense whatever the source node that we consider, usually root. Yep. So we will be making use of the queue to maintain the traversal order, right? Usually I said root, not every time. So usually if you're starting with the root, if you can just consider, it will be easy to this one grasp, right? So when we consider the root, that is the reason I mentioned the root. Start from the source node. So we will be making use of the queue to maintain the traversal order. So always remember one thing, BFS uses queue. Yep. BFS, what it uses actually, it uses the queue. So again, it uses queue to maintain the traversal order. So we will be marking the source as visited. Once it's not only source actually, whatever the nodes that we this one visit, we will mark that node as visited. First, as we have as we are starting with the source, we'll be marking the source as visited. So the same thing will repeat until queue is empty. Yep, we will repeat until the queue is empty. Then remove the first node, visit all unvisited neighbors. Yeah, we'll be visiting all the unvisited neighbors, then mark them visited and push them into the queue. The same thing, the same step. Yep, same steps. So this ensures minimum distance, nothing but levels from the source. Yeah, this ensures minimum distance from the source. Yep, so this is it for the BFS algo. This is it for the BFS algorithm. So if you didn't understand everything, it's fine. So we'll be articulating the same thing in the form of code, the algorithm explanation part. So and then we will dry run by considering the example. At the end, you'll understand. I assure that you'll understand the algorithm crystal clear. Yep. So this is fine. First thing, what shall I do? Let's go with a simple example, man. So let's go with, we have to mention the number of nodes, right? For the example. So I'll just go with number of nodes. Let's consider 5 for this. Yep. So this is fine. Next, let's go with a adjacency list representation of the graph. Previously, we went with a graph representation itself. If you don't know the adjacency list and other stuff, adjacency list, adjacency matrix. So you can just go through the data structure playlist where we have discussed about the graph in depth actually. So that you can understand this one, directed undirected graph, adjacency list, adjacency matrix, and different types of graphs. There you can understand that thing, and then you can come here, so to this playlist. Then you can just go through the graph representation. So previously we had discussed the same. Then it's better to this one move on with the BFS and DFS and other graph algorithms in simple terms. Yeah. Or else if you come directly, if you don't know what is adjacency list, adjacency matrix, and other stuff, you'll not understand anything. Yep. So this is fine. Next, what we are doing here, we will be going with the adjacency list representation of the graph. So I'll just go with int. So let me go with the G here, nothing but the graph. So first neighbors of 0, let me consider 1 comma 2, right? So 1 comma 2 is the neighbors for the 0. Then let's consider the node 1. In simple terms, let me draw the graph so that you understand this one even better, right? So just give me a second, 1 second. Just a second, it's not working. Yeah, so we will be going with this graph 0, yeah, 2. So this is 1. So this is 1, and this will be 3 actually. You can just represent this one in the form of node as well. So yeah, So finally 2 to 4. So this is the graph that we'll be going with. You can just pause the video, or if you're following along, so you can just look at the graph, so that while writing the adjacency list, you'll come to know. See, for 0, what is the adjacency list here? You can say that 1 and 2. See, from 0 we can just go to 1 and we can go to 2. So for 0 it is 1 and 2. For 1, it is this one. What do we call? 0, we can just go to 0, as well as we can just go to 3, right? So for 1 it is 3, and 0 and 3. For 2 it is 0, we can just go to 0 here, right? We can just go to 0 here. Let me write in this way. Yep, let me write in this way. Yep, so this is fine. From 2 it is 0 and 4. Yeah, from 2 it is 0 as well as the 4. From 3 it is only 1, and from 4 it is only 2. Yep, so this is the adjacency list representation. So let me delete this one. I'll just write this one now quickly. Yep. Just give me a second here. Yep. 0 comma 3, then 0 comma 4. This is the neighbors of node 2, actually 0 comma 4. Then neighbor of node 3 is just 1. I showed you this one. And finally, neighbors of the node 4 is just 2. Yep. So we are done with this part one. Yep, we are done with this part. Now let's go with a visited array just to track the visited nodes. So once we visit the node, we will mark that one as visited. For that, we need the visited array. So let's make use of it as per the discussion. So I'll just go with visited here. So this one will be new boolean of, let me pass variable n. Right. So now let's go with a queue for the BFS traversal. Right. So I'll just go with the array dequeue. This one. Yeah. Let me pass the integer. Let me pass the integer. So this is fine. I'll just go with queue equals new. Let me go with array dequeue. So this is also fine. Yep, so we are done with this part. So next what we'll do, let's start the BFS from the node 0 accordingly with the this one. What do we call? Algorithm explanation will be starting from the source node, nothing but the node 0. So I'll just go with q.add of 0 initially. So we have successfully pushed the source node. Then we have to mark the source as visited, nothing but I'll just go with visited of 0. Let's assign this one to the Boolean value true. It's as simple as that. Now let's go with a BFS traversal loop, standardized BFS loop. We call this one as standardized BFS loop. So while Q is not empty, so I'll just go with not of Q dot is empty. Then we have to remove the front element. Yep, as we are making use of the Q. So first we have to remove the front element. To remove the front element, so we'll be making use of the poll operation that is provided by the Q. So I'll just go with Q equals Q dot poll. This has to show. Yep. So this is fine. Let's print something for the interactiveness. So we will be processing current node, right? So I'll just go with S out here. System out println. ln is not required. Anyways, we'll be printing in the same line. I'll just go with U. Let's leave the space so that this looks good. Next, what we have to do. See, we have to traverse all the neighbors of the current node. Yeah, we are starting from the 0. We are starting from the 0. Now we have to traverse all the neighbors first 0 at that particular level, right? So level by level we have to go. So for that, I'll just go with a for loop here. Int v g of u. So this is fine. So within the for loop, so first thing I'll do here is if the neighbor is not visited, let's write the if condition. If the neighbor is not visited, then we will be marking the neighbor as visited and we'll be pushing the neighbor into the queue. That's what we'll be doing. It's as simple as that. See, I'll just go with if. Suppose if the neighbor is not visited, visited of vertex v, right? So yep. Now if the neighboring vertex is not visited, then we have to mark the neighbor visited after visiting. So I'll just go with this one. Let me assign this one to visited of v to the boolean value true, and then finally we have to push the neighbor into the queue, right? So for that, I'll just write here q dot add of vertex v, nothing but v. So this is it for the algorithm. So this is it for the algorithm. So let me format the code once. So yeah, we do not have any error, right? So this one, once again, duplicated code format. So this is fine, man. Yep. 1 second. Yeah. I believe we do not have any error. So before running the code, let's dry run the code so that we get to know whatever the code that we have written is correct or not. And also we get to know the output for the example that we have considered within the code. And later we can come back here and run the code that we have written. First, let's dry run the code. So see here, the same graph that we have considered here, right? So the same graph that we have considered here, I have written in this way, that's it, right? So just give me a second here, 1 second, just 1 second. Yeah. So for the node 0, what is the, so let's write the adjacency list. For node 0, it is going to 1 and it can go to 2. So this one as well as this one. Yep. So this part. So I'll just write here 1 comma 2 here. For 1, it is, uh, it can go to 0 as well as it can go to 3. Yep. So this one. Yeah. 1 second. Give me a second here. So yeah, from 1 it can go to 0 as well as from 1 it can go to 3, right? So this will be 0 comma 3. From 2 it can go to 0 as well as 4. See here, 2 can go to 0 as well as 4. So this will be 0 comma 4. From 3 it can go to only 1 and from 4 it can go to only 2, right? So this part. From 3 it can go to only 1 and from 4 it can go to only 2. So this is the adjacent cell list representation. So this is the graph actually. Yep. So now let's go with step-by-step BFS execution. First, what we'll do, first we will start. Yeah. So we'll start from the source node 0, this one. Yeah. So then we will queue. So we'll be making use of the queue. First is we have the value 0. So we'll be going with a 0. Yep. So we'll be going with a 0 within the queue. Then visited will be, we'll mark the visited, this one. Node 0 will mark that this one as visited. Now this one is visited. I'll just go with a arrow mark inside. Yep. So now what we'll do, we will pop 0. Yeah, we will pop 0 now and we'll pop the 0 and we will print 0. Yeah, this is going to be the first element that we are printing. Then we should be going to the next one, right? So what are the elements, this one for 0 actually adjacency list representation, what are the elements we are having? 1 and 2. So what we'll do, we will add 1 and 2 respectively. Yeah, so we will be adding 1 and 2 respectively. Now q becomes 1 and 2, q becomes 1 and 2. Yep, it's as simple as that. Yep. So now we have 1 and 2 in the queue. Next, what we will do, we will pop 1 first. Yeah, we will pop 1 first. Yep. So after popping 1, what we'll do, we will print 1. Yeah. After popping 1, we will print 1. That's what we are gonna do. Next, we will add 3. Yeah, we will add 3. Yep. So we'll add 3. Now the queue becomes 2 and 3. So we have just popped 1, the next element. So we still have 2, right? We still have 2 left actually. We have added 3. The queue becomes 2 and 3. The queue becomes 2 and 3 respectively. Yep. So this is fine. Next, what we will do, the same step, one by one element, right? So next we will pop 2. We will pop 2. So here in this case, we have print 1. Now we have already print 0 and 1. Now we'll be adding the next element that we have is this one accordingly with the graph. So we will be going with a, we have already popped 2, right? So pop 2 and print 2. We'll pop 2 and print 2. The element that we have here is we will be adding 4. Yeah. So see here, 1 second. 2 we have 0 and 4, right? So or 4 we have 2. So this one also we can consider. Anyways, so now we will be adding 4 and q becomes 1 and 4 respectively. Q becomes 1 and 4 respectively. Yep. Q doesn't become 1 and 4. 1 we have 3, not 4. Sorry. So we have 3 in the queue. 2 and 3, we were having 2 and 3 in the queue. So we popped Q and we have printed 2. Then we have successfully added 4. 3 and 4 will be in the queue, right? So not 1 and 4. Sorry, I got confused here. Anyways, now 3 and 4 are in the queue. Now 3 and 4 are in the queue. Next, what we will do? Same step. We will pop 3 and we will print 3. We'll pop this one 3 and we will print 3. So q will be now we are left with only one element, nothing but 4. Yeah, we'll be left with only one element. Now we will pop 4 actually. We will pop 4 and we will print 4. We will print 4. Yep. So in the queue, We are not left with anything. We got empty queue. So we'll stop here. We'll stop here. So what are the elements in the order that we have printed? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 actually, right? So we started with the this node 0. We have also printed 0. So this is the output that we need to get. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the output that we need to get. By looking at the graph itself, you can see, right? So it goes level by level, right? So BFS. So the output that we need to get here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. Yep. So yep, we are done with the dry run part actually. Now let's run the code that we have written. So I'll just come here. Let me run the code that we have written. So let's wait for some time until the code gets compiled. Yeah. So I can clearly see here the output that we are getting here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had just dry run the code. So there also we got the same output. So we have got the desired output here. So we are left with only one thing, nothing but discussing the complexities for the code that we have written. So what would be the time complexity here for the code that we have written? One second. Just 1 second. Yeah. What would be the time complexity here? Time complexity would lead to big O of V plus E, right? So the time complexity would lead to big O of V plus E. And what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would lead to big O of V, nothing but vertex. Yep. So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big O of V plus E and big O of V respectively, right? So now we are done with the BFS algorithm. Next, we will be discussing on the topic DFS or the DFS algorithm. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.